subscribe, please click the like button, share and subscribe. It's free.
And hoodie with a brush tool. Attached, please find Annexure A, the draft document in brackets that forms part of this affidavit, containing identity kits and control images. Paragraph 5 is the commissioning that we have just referred to. 6/10/2014, a facial composite is a method of establishing a visual likeness of any person through the verbal description of a witness or victim, and which is built up with the aid of identity equipment by a facial technician. The facial description must be established as well as the modus operandi of the sought person to aid the facial investigation. And it says Annexure A is a draft document for investigation purposes. Page 2 is the suspect information of a person of interest, and page 3 is the identity key, control and altered image. And page 2 thereof, it's Phosphorus Case 636/1024. Mr. Makaleni, residing at Mzamo 3942, compiled the face of suspect B. He saw 3 unknown African males in the vicinity of the gas station busy on their cell phones. Later they saw them outside the house of Kumanos. He saw the suspect B at the gate and gave the following description: plus minus 25 years old, plus minus 1.80 meter tall, slender build, a golden insert in upper teeth, not sure in brackets regarding the golden insert in upper teeth, dreadlocks hairstyle, facial hair, mustache and beard. He saw something in his hand that, not sure if it was a firearm, witness could not compile the other faces. And there's an explanatory with second suspect, identity kit, unknown African male, plus minus 25 years old, slender build, height plus minus 1.80 meter tall, medium brown complexion, upper teeth, so a golden in upper teeth, not sure which side, prominent cheekbones, dreadlock hairstyle, facial hair. And then, as you correctly say, Brigadier, the control image that was used, there are 3 images. The first on the left is the image that is of the image on the left in Exhibit J, and the one in the middle is the actual photo of an extract from accused number 2's ID. And then I think the last image is the one where it was now superimposed or altered using a hoodie.
Correct, my lord. Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi kulezi ithombe intathu-ke esibhekile-ke lana. Lesi sokuqala ilena yokuqala-ke identity eyenziwa-ke noma-ke eyayenziwe, bese kuthi-ke ngaphakathi-ke nendawo be isithombe-ke sona-ke esasetshenziswa esithathwa kuwona-ke umazisi wakhe umsolo wesibili. Esesithathu-ke ila khona-ke manje khona lesi kusetshenziswe lesi phakathi nendawo se-ID esegqokiswa i-hoodie.
And there's also this other one. Do you have it in front of you?
I think let me just confirm a lot. I have something like that, but it's just that the wording is written differently. But I do have something to this effect, similar to what you have, but I think it's the writing that is slightly different.
Yeah, because this one is an enlarged of this page, and it says this suspect was standing outside the gate, and the descriptors are the same as in the pages that I've read.
Yes, I'm not sure if... I just don't see the word that you've seen, but the picture, yes, there is a picture resembling what I was shown, my lord.
Yes, like I'm saying, this exercise is going to be futile if it's not being there, so that there's no repetition when I ask you to comment on it. I was just placing it on record so that when it's placed there, I've already placed it on record. So I'm going to request that also this one will be done after lunch. I'll ask my Daniel colleague to scan it for us so that it can be built. Now, the questions that I can ask from this, whether or not we're going to build this, it's what was the necessity of having this second identification altered from DB to this other one now with a control image of this identification document used?
So my lord, there was no intention to alter, it was to compare. So that is the right context. The alteration, insofar as what was provided to warrant officer still comes, and the altering she's talking about is what we provided to her, to put the hoodie and the dreadlocks as is described by Mr. Makalin in order for her expertise. As I said, my lord, the purpose was to see if she can say photo B or the sample that we gave her corresponds with the identity that was taken on the 29th of October 2014. That was the purpose, to say you are an expert, you dealt with this identity on the 29th of October 2014. Here's the picture which does not have a dreadlocks of a person of interest. Can you then alter this picture that we're sending and add the hoodie and the dreadlocks and see if you can match the two? That was the purpose of this exercise, but not to alter the original identikit of 2014, because the comparison was being done in relation to that original identikit, my lord.
Inhloso ke yakhona konke lokho akuwukuthi ke unaso ke lesi sithombe noma ke le identikit yange 29 ka October 2014. Manje ke kunalesi sithombe ke sibuya kuyona ke umazisi wakhe ke umsola wesibili. Ukuthi manje nangalendlela ke uMakeleni asho ngayo usufake ke ama dreadlocks lawo kanye ke nehoodie ubhekeke ukuthi yini ukwakuqhathanisa nje ubhekeke kulokho kodwa kungasibona ukuthi ushintshe leya identity yange 29 ka October 2014 kodwa uqhathanisa uma manje sekufakwe ama dreadlocks kanye nehoodie.
So the purpose in essence, my lord, was to try and see if we can link conclusively accused to as per the photo that comes from his ID with the identity kit that was drawn on the 29th of October 2014. That was the purpose.
Inhloso ke kwakuwukuthi ke manje sibhekeke ukuthi singahlanganisa ngokuphelele yini ke ekuyona ke identity leyana eya nge-29 ka October 2014 kanye nalesi sithombe ke esibuya kona ke umazisi wakhe umsolwa wesibili.
Or exclude him if, for example, the expert says no, there's no such in terms of her expertise, my lord.
Noma ke uma ungoti ethi ke cha kulokhu ke sengikwenzile ke lokho kodwa ke ngiyathola noma ngiyabona ke ukuthi cha akuhlangane bese ke eyakhishwa ke awukuthi nje ahlanganiswe kodwa uma kuwukuthi akukho okutholakalayo akhishwe.
Where was accused number 2's identification document taken for it to be supplied to Ms. Gininda?
It was taken by the arresting officers. As I said, when they arrested him on the said date, my lord, they did let me know. So it was electronically communicated as Warrant Officer Steenkamp was sitting in the western, not the western, the eastern Cape, East London. Sorry, in East London, my lord.
Okwenzeka ke ukuthi noma umbuzo uthi ke watholakala kuphi ke umazisi wakhe umsola wesibili amaphoyisa ke ambopha bangitshela ke base ke futhi ke bedlulisela ke nani ngoba ke bakhuluma ke nami bedlulisela ke na ke Warrant Officer Steenkamp owayeseke East London.
And other than Makaleni, and whom we've established now that he's not the person that was in the house, is there any other person that made a statement to the effect that the second intruder wearing a hoodie also had dreadlocks, because the description of dreadlocks from the people in the house only related to the first intruder?
That is correct. All the people in the house relates to the first intruder with the dreadlocks. That's okay. That's what it says. I agree with you.
Yes, but my
Ngiyavumelana ke nawe kuyiqiniso ukuthi ke bonke abantu ababesendlini bathi lo owangena qala uyena owayena ama dreadlocks.
Yes, but my question is this. Other than Makaleni, that we know that he was not in the house, are there any other witnesses that describe the person that they saw running wearing a hoodie, having a dreadlocks hairstyle?
My Lord, I may speak under correction, but I seem to recall that the statement we got with before tea time, often type is saying, or the record, maybe saying something to that effect, but I'm not sure, my Lord. All I can say with certainty is that the people who were in the house only describe the first intruder with dreadlocks, and they don't say the second one had dreadlocks and a hoodie. That's what I can say with certainty. Insofar as to whether there are other witnesses outside, one will have to be have an opportunity to go through all the witness statements and then give a certain answer, so that I don't seem to be saying something that contradicts the docket, my Lord.
Ngaphandle kwakhe uMakeleni ingaba bakhona yini abanye ke kulaba ke ababe ngaphandle ke abashoyo noma ke abachaza ngalendlela ke uMakeleni amchaze ngayo ke ukuthi ke lo muntu wayifake ihoodie wayinama dreadlocks laba ababesendlini bona ke mabechaza ke bachaza lo owangenaqala ukuthi uyena nama dreadlocks kodwa ke kulaba abangaphandle ke kuzofanele umuntu ke abheke ke manje kuzona zonke istatement ngingasho ke into engahambelani naloko okubhalwe kulona idokodo.
Now, Ms. Zandile Khumalo and Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified about a reenactment that occurred around 2016 regarding the events that transpired on the 26th of October of 2014. Are you aware of that reconstruction that was conducted? That was before you even were seized with this matter.
The only construction, and I don't know if I'm assuming, my Lord, and I stand under correction.
Yes.
The only thing that I seem to recall, it's where General Mokotedi and I think with Brigadier Modise were involved, where they used actors to try and reconstruct the scene. I'm not sure if
that's the one I'm referring to.
Yeah, I have a recollection of that, my Lord.
Ngiyakhumbula ke noma ke umbuzo ke ukuthi ke ngo2016 kula khona ke kwakuyobheka noma ke kuyohlela kuyokwenziwa ke kabusha noma ke reconstructor yona ke indawo yesigameke ngaba uyazini ke ngaloko mayelana nesigameke leso senzeka ngaso i26 October 2014 engikhumbulayo ukuthi kwaku General Mokotedi kanye naye ke uBrigadier Modise ngiyazi ukuthi ke basebenzisa ke ama actors yebo yiloko ke bengikhuluma ngabo.
And the gist of Ms. Khumalo's testimony, Zandile, is that they were called to 13511 Kukutlano Street, Muzamo section, for Sloras on that day, and using props, like we say, sort of an acting out and reenactment of that scene. Each person that was in the house in 2014 was called in to say, we've set up the scene, say this thing is Senzo, this one is the intruder, and explain how it transpired. But the gist of why I'm asking you this is, initially, I think at the beginning of the year, or even last year already, I had asked the state to provide us with a copy of the DVD of that reenactment, because I have a statement of a warrant officer Poison who says he also attended that reenactment. He took videography of that reenactment, copied it into an SD card, and later made into DVD. And I haven't had the benefit of the positive response, whether or not that DVD is still available.
My Lord, I'll assist. I suppose then the defense wants to have access to that DVD, so I'll assist. I'll try to go through the electronic data that we receive with the docket when I sign for it and identify it and make it available to the defense. So I'll just have to go through the electronic data, my Lord, that was given to us.
Ngingalekelela ke lapho njengoba usho ukuthi kwakuna warrant officer Poison othi naye ke uyena ke wayomthwebuluki ngalelo langa lelo kwase kuba ne DVD kuzofanele ukuthi ngiyobheka ke uma ngilekeleleke ukuthi ke nginikeze ngayo leyo DVD leyo.
That will be greatly appreciated, Brigadier.
No, I'll do my best, my Lord.
Now, yesterday, because we were going up and down, I left, and when we were talking about the incident of the 18th of, we're spoken about the incident of the 17th of June 2020 at the boardroom in Pretoria North, where accused number 2 instructs me that you were present and you say you were not present. That will be something that will be argued, and what transpired in the boardroom. Then on the 18th, you go to Carltonville at Sibanye Gold, where accused number 2 was employed, and you said primarily to check on his alibi that he was at work at the time the incident took place. Is that correct?
That is correct, my lord, absolutely. But also just to go back on the date of the 17th, my lord, I seem to recall that it was said, I asked accused 2 to take off his clothing, I'm not so sure whether the
Yes.
top part, to check for tattoos.
Yes.
My lord, there will be no reason to do that because there is no statement in the docket, and that's why I said I was not there. But even if I parked it, in the docket itself, there is no statement by either the people who were in the house or outside who gave a description of tattoos. So that exercise, even if I was present, I wouldn't ask him to do that because there's no description that is given that the second suspect or even the first suspect had tattoos. You can just, the description in terms of the dreadlocks, the clothing goes insofar as that, but no description of tattoos was given, my lord.
Bese kuthi ke ngazo i-18 zika June 2020 wase biwa khona ke eCarltonville eSibanye ukuyoqiniseka sake la ayesebenza khona ke noma la athi waye khona ke umsola. Kodwa ke ngicela nje ukuthi ngibuyeleke kuzona ke i17 ngoba ke khulunyiwe ke kwashiwo ukuthi ke ngazo i17 ngathi kumsola akakhumuleke eEthiopia ke kunubheka amathathu. Ngishilo ukuthi ngangile ngekho lapho kodwa ke noma ke ngingama ke nje lapho kuthiwe ngangikhona ke ukuthi yena ke ngimkhumulise ngithi ke ngibheka amathathu ngangeke ngikwenze sasingekho isimo nama izathu sokwenza lokho ngoba asikho nesodwa istatement sabofakazi esakhuluma ngamathathu wakhulunywa nje ngama dreadlocks naloko okwakugqokiwe akukho okwakhulunywa ngamathathu.
Now you will recall as well that before these particular accused persons were arrested, Mr. Mbata was arrested for this matter, and an identity parade was conducted in that for that suspect. You called it?
I do recall, my lord.
Uzokhumbula ke ukuthi ke ngaphambili kokuthi laba abasolwa abaphambi kwenkantolo manje baboshwe kunomlisa ke uthize umbatha owaboshwa futhi ke kune ID parade eyenziwa ke yebo ngiyakhumbula lokho.
And in this instance, specifically regarding accused number 2 after his arrest on the 16th of June 2020, why was an identity parade not conducted for him in respect of the people that were in the house?
My lord, I do recall specific in 2 instances, the 2 people that are interviewed, and that is Mr. Thokoza Sitwala and Mr. Matala, who said they were 50-50. I think they put it in that context that they are not 100% sure that they will be able to do an identification parade. And I think I took their statements because I know they put it in the middle, so it wasn't going to take us anywhere. Insofar as the others, as I've said, my lord, the investigation was prosecutorial driven. You sit with the prosecution and you are guided as to which witnesses you can use or not. But those 2 specifically, I interviewed them, and they gave a statement to say they're not 100% sure. It's 50-50. I think that's how the statement is quoted.
Manje ke uma eboshwa ke umsola wesibili ngazo i16 zika June 2020 kwakungani ke kena ke iID parade ingabi khona ke ngiyakhumbula ke umthokozisi Thwala kanye naye ke uTumelo Madala futhi ke kuneyitatimende zabo ke engayibhala mala naloko basho ke ukuthi ke uma ingenzwa kabanathi isiqiniseko sokuthi ke bangakwazi ke ukuthi bakhombeke basho ukuthi yilona ke ngokumala nabanye ke ngishilo ukuthi ke uphenyo olaluhola namakhulunyisana nabeshushisike kodwa bona bobabili labo basho kanjalo.
Now, regarding the rest of the people that were in the house, what decision and why was it taken that an ID parade, they shouldn't come to an identity parade where accused number 2 will be part of the people that are in the lineup so that they can have an independent identification, should they identify him at that parade rather than what transpired here in court, him being identified from the dog?
My lord, like I said, the first part, like I said, the two witnesses that were interviewed said they were not 100% certain. So they didn't rule out the possibility, but they also could not confirm that they will be able to identify the accused because of the period that it has taken. And as such, as I said, my lord, I took statements to that effect. The other assessor said it was procedural-driven investigation. There were guidelines and given as to who we can use and who we cannot use. That's how far I can answer it, my lord.
Manje ngokumayelana nabanye-ke kwakunganingi ukuthi banganikezwa-ke ithuba-ke noma ukuthi bahambe-ke bayokhomba-ke la umsola wesibili azoba khona-ke naye basho-ke kunalokho okwenzeka-ke la enkantolo ukuthi-ke bamkhombe bela enkantolo bese ngishilo-ke ukuthi laba ababili bona-ke basho-ke babengaqinisekisi ukuthi bangakhomba noma bangangakhombi kodwa basho nje ukuthi abanaso nje isiqiniseko sokuthi-ke bangakwazi ukuthi bakwenze lokho. Abanye-ke ofakazi bese ngishilo futhi-ke ukuthi-ke kwakuxoxisana-ke noma ukukhulumisana-ke nabashushisi-ke kushiwo ukuthi ubani singabasebenzisa ubani esingabasebenzisi.
Now, if I may assist you, one of these statements, it's A126, and you can find one for yourself. I think A126 is in respect of Tumelo Madala, whom you took a statement from inquiring whether or not he will still be able to identify the perpetrators, and he said that this case has been a while back, the incident happening. Therefore, he was equivocal. In other words, he wasn't sure that he will be able to identify the persons that had allegedly entered the house on the 26th of October 2014.
Yes, my lord. That's why I'm saying Tumelo Madala do recall, but he didn't say he will not be able to. It was just a middle line to say because of the time period, like you phrasing it, is not certain. It was a 50-50 type of response that he gave, my lord.
Yebo ukuthumela amadala yena ngiyakhumbula-ke nanjengoba ngiqeda ukusho-ke kodwa-ke ayibekanga ngale ndlela-ke oyibeka ngayo-ke washo-ke ukuthi ngenxa yesikhathi akacabangi ngoba-ke kudala lesigameko senzeka.
Family, I'm back again, and have you subscribed? Just please press the like button and subscribe. Family, I'm back again. I just want to show that Gininda is not interested in the eyewitnesses, and all his evidence depends on people who are outside, not people who were in the scene of crime. There's a question that was asked by Ramsey Billy is there any in the scene of crime and anywhere who said he or she saw people run out of the scene of crime? All the witnesses, or let me say the witnesses, because there was another lady in the car outside who saw somebody running, but he had already passed her car. Yeah, it was a friend's car or her car, but it's a neighbor to the Kumalos. So those are the two people that is the Magelin, whatever, if I'm spelling it right or wrong, I'm not sure, but I'm just pronouncing Magelin as it has been said. So that lady who was outside, who has been, because to me, this lady, I understand that she saw or he saw, I don't know whether the Makelin is a he or she. He saw those intruders at the gas garage. From there, he again saw the same intruders in the Kumalo family, in the Kumalo residence. So when we follow this strategy, we kind of understand that it's the same witness who's giving Gininda all the information, and it's a trend. And her evidence doesn't match with the evidence of the eyewitnesses who were in the house. Because what the eyewitnesses are saying, the guy who had dreadlocks is the first intruder, the short guy. And the one who didn't have, who was the second intruder, did not have dreads, which is dreadlocks. But when you listen to the evidence of the outside Magdalene, that Brigadier trusts so much, is giving evidence that Danzi had a gold tooth in that dark. Because even if there is this Apollo light, it cannot be clear. More special people, somebody who is running away, who has committed a sin, he's not in the mood maybe that he will talk to anybody who's outside. He's just running for his safety. But this lady or this guy, Magdalene, I don't know whether it's a guy or a lady, saw Ntanzi, who had a gold tooth and dreadlocks. Then the other guy, who was the first intruder, the eyewitnesses are saying he is the one who had dreadlocks. So what I'm trying to paint here is, when we look at the evidence of Brigadier Gininda, everything that he trusts and believes, it's not something that was seen by the eyewitnesses who were at the scene. Because even the gun that was tested, it's a gun that was fetched from somewhere. Cleveland, is a Cleveland police station, to the forensic laboratory. Those are the trends that we have to follow, that this guy called Brigadier Gininda doesn't like facts. He doesn't work with facts. Because even though the doctor said, oh, let me not go to the doctor, let's come to the DNA. The DNA had, the expert in DNA did not find this accused linked to that head DNA. But Gininda, in his mind, because he's living in a different world than everybody lives, he comes and talk about, even if it's 1 or 2%, he will still say these people are the ones. But it's not how science works. There's a certain number of DNA or certain percentage that has to be collected. Then it's when you can come to a conclusive results, because those results were inconclusive. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to show that Gininda is not investigating the Makumalo resident where that place was a scene of crime, but he is investigating another case, not the Senzo Meyiwa case. Because in the Senzo Meyiwa case, things that they were supposed to do, because Gininda took the case late, he was not the first one who took. He should have gone to whatever evidence that was collected by those certain people who came first, those IOs, and then read it with understanding, then go to the scene of crime and try to get all the people who were in the scene of crime. Then place them, they must sit in their places. While they are asking them questions, they will sit in their places. Then each and every one will demonstrate how everything happened. Because now he is trying to understand exactly what happened in the scene of crime, so he can come to a certain conclusion that yes, there were intruders or there were no intruders. You have to first assemble the scene of crime. Bring all the people who are around, neighbors, bring your own investigators, your team of investigators. They will pull this one to that side, they will pull the other one, so that whatever those people who were all in the scene of crime, when they take their statements differently, then after taking those statements differently, they will go as a team in their conference room and sit down, read the statements together with understanding that Kelly said this, Zandi said this, Tumelo said this, Longwe said this. Then they put everything. Now it's like they are going back to it's like they're in the class trying to analyze all the statements so that they can come and debate it and come to a certain conclusion that, okay, this is what happened to the scene of crime. And what we are concluding now is there were no intruders, or there were intruders, and the intruders that came here, now what we have to do now is to get somebody who is going to make a sketch if need be. Not this kind of sketch that was made. First sketch was made, now they get Dance's ID to make a sketch. How can you do that? What Gininda was trying to achieve from that, he wanted to come to a conclusive result that now they are not legit. So it's really crazy how Gininda does things in this case, and it really bugs my mind, because when I listen to his evidence, because you listen to Zungu, to evidence that he got from Zungu, there's nothing that he wants to tell us about the people who were eyewitnesses in the scene of crime. More especially when it comes to Longwe Twala, who was the first person to come out of the house, like the statements are there. Who saw Longwe Twala were within the people who were outside. Even this Magdalene, he's not talking about Longwe. If he is talking about Longwe, I don't think he ever know who is Longwe. Was this person staged for Brigadier Gininda to come with this kind of statement? And the statement that Gininda is bringing to court, it's colluding with the statement of the people who were in the house. The only thing this outside witness Magellan is saying he or she saw something like a gun in this guy's hand. But the people who were in the house, they are telling us the gun had a will. But Gininda still doesn't want to believe that. Does it make any sense? So that's why I come to this conclusion that Gininda was not investigating the Senzo Meyiwa case. He was investigating a certain case. I don't know where that case happened. Because you cannot, as an investigator, you cannot just keep going, getting evidence from outside instead of constructing the scene of crime and getting exactly what really happened in the scene of crime. Then you come to a certain conclusion. And you don't become a lone investigator like he is. Because all these people who were working with Gininda, every question that was asked by the defense, they were referring it to Gininda. That means they were not part of the investigation. They were like messenger girls and messenger boys. Family, what do you think about this? Just drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What I can say, Senzo is not sleeping. He is kneeling, praying for all these people who deleted his life to be apprehended, and it's when he will have a good rest, and it is when his family will get closure. Sithi uSenzo akalalanga ukucenga amadolo, umele ukuthi kuboshwe abantu abangibona bamsusa kulomhlaba. Kungenzekanga lokho, he will keep hunting them until they are brought to justice. Once the family gets closure, konke kuzawulunga. Ngiyamthanda nonke ngothando lukaLove. Ithi bravo, bravo, bravo.